He's so in.
I got you one. Come here. It's here. Now you know you got to do the blood.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the 2021 Spring Commencement exercises for the College of Pharmacy. I'm Dr. Glenn Anderson, Professor and Dean of the College of Pharmacy. Commencement's a joyous occasion to recognize the graduates' years of study. This celebration of accomplishment is of great importance to the university, its faculty, staff, and students. To allow all guests and participants to fully enjoy our celebration, we ask that you avoid unnecessary conversation and moving about during the commencement exercises. We also request that you wear your masks and turn off your cell phones. Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, please rise and bow your heads while Dr. Laurel Sampignero blesses the start of this ceremony and then leads us through the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Heavenly Father, I just come to you today with so much gratitude and thanks. Thankful, first of all, for each and every graduate that's here with us, dear Lord, that you have just blessed them through these last many years with the wisdom and the knowledge and the patience and endurance that they needed, dear Lord, to get to where they are today. And secondly, and just as important, I thank you for each and every family member and friend that's here to support these graduates. They played an incredibly important part in their journey as they move through these last several years. And dear Lord, I just ask that you would continue to bless them as they move forward from here and start the next phase of their life, and that they would always remember the wisdom, the guidance that you provided them, and that you will continue to provide them throughout their life. And I just ask that you would be with us today, bless our ceremony, and bless everyone as they travel home and keep them safe. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. You will face the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon. You may be seated. I am Dr. Alberto Ruiz. I'm the Vice President for Academic Affairs here at the University of Louisiana Monroe. Before I start with the ceremony, there's two quick announcements I need to make. The candidates, when they walked in, came through the east side of Fayette Ewing. They will be exiting the west side of Fayette Ewing. So if you came in the main doors, just take a right and your graduates will meet you on the west side of Fayette Ewing. Also, there have been 4 graduation photo opportunities that have been prepared to help commemorate this moment. There are 2 setups in Bayou Park, sponsored by Career Services and the Alumni Center, one at the Warhawk Circle, and one near the fountain in the Quad. For people that don't know this campus, just look for the tallest building. That's the library. Everything's around the library, which is right across from the bridge. I want to tell everyone thank you for this memorable time in our students' lives. It means a lot. Please join me in thanking the ULM Commencement Committee, the Physical Plant, the ULM Computing Center, the Office of Marketing and Communication, and the College of Pharmacy's Office of Student and Professional Affairs for their contribution to today's ceremony. President Berry, as the Vice President of Academic Affairs, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome those joining us today, either in person or online, including honored faculty, graduating students, and friends and supporters of the University of Louisiana-Monroe. Seated before us is the College of Pharmacy's class of 2021. We are gathered not only to honor their achievements, but also to honor the educational process that made those achievements possible. To the families and friends and children and grandparents, you're here because you know a graduate today. Each of you has contributed in some way to the accomplishments of today's graduates. Foremost among that support group are the parents, spouses, and family members who have encouraged and, in many instances, sacrificed to make this day a reality. We would like to acknowledge this very important group by asking the parents, the spouses, and immediate family members of the spring class of 2021 to stand up at this time. If you're a parent, relative, grandparent, child, stand up. Thank you for your support. It is also appropriate to recognize a very important group of individuals watching online today for their role in educating these students. I ask all students to show your appreciation of the faculty by your applause for the guidance, wisdom, and support received from the faculty during your time with us. Thank you. The distinguished graduates of the spring 2021 class can be identified by the maroon and gold honor cords they are wearing. So students, you got to pay attention to what I'm fixing to say, okay? Will the cum laude candidates please stand? The cum laude candidates, please stand. These students maintain a 3.5 to 3.749 grade point average during their university careers. Congratulations. You may be seated. Will the magna cum laude candidates please stand? Magna cum laude, these students maintain a 3.75 to 3.899 grade point average during their university careers. Congratulations. You may be seated. Will the summa cum laude candidates please stand? These students maintain a 3.90 to 4.00 grade point average during their university careers. Congratulations. You may be seated. I'm going to go off script a little bit, but I want to tell the students, you have graduated from the best college of pharmacy in the nation. I'm so proud of y'all, and I hope you continue the tradition for the great state of Louisiana, where 70% of our pharmacists have come from the great College of Pharmacy. I want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you, Dr. Reese. We are excited, I should say I'm excited, to have the speaker that we have today, a friend, a mentor, our former dean, Dr. Bill Bourne. Dr. William Bill Bourne graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of New Mexico in 1967, and earned his PhD from the University of Arizona in 1974. Upon completing his doctoral studies, he found his way to ULM, formerly Northeast Louisiana University, where he spent the majority of his career. Dr. Bourne arrived on the ULM campus in the fall of 1974 as an assistant professor. In addition to his teaching classes and working in the lab, He had the privilege of serving as the faculty advisor for one of our pharmacy professional fraternities. 12 years later, Dr. Bourne was named Dean of the College of Pharmacy, where he served in that capacity for 17 years. And I don't know if you understand that. 17 years as a dean is a heck of an accomplishment. A heck of an accomplishment. And that was from 1986 to 2003. As dean, Dr. Bourne continued his work with the pharmacy fraternities and student organizations and founded something that's very special to me, the College of Pharmacy's DeFeo Society, and that was in 1991. That society is an endowment fund for the support and advancement of the ULM College of Pharmacy. And this is how Dr. Bourne's given back to us. That DeFeo Society supports 20 scholarships annually. That's 20 students that we have here today who potentially could be benefiting from that and have benefited from that. Dr. Bourne invests a great deal of personal capital in the success of our college as well during his tenure. He went beyond just investing he went beyond by investing not only his personal capital, but also the most precious commodities he has in our university and our college. That most precious commodity was his family. Dr. and Mrs. Bourne had 3 daughters, all who graduated from ULM. One's a pharmacist, and 2 others, who are the twins, graduated from ULM's toxicology and nursing programs. He even has a son-in-law who is an alumnus of our college as well. After his retirement in 2003, Dr. Bourne and his wife, Marcia, remained active in the College of Pharmacy. In 2013, the Board of Supervisors honored Dr. Bourne by appointing him as Dean Emeritus for the College of Pharmacy. The entire College of Pharmacy and family are formally mourned the sudden passing of Mrs. Marcia Bourne in October of 2017. We honored the Bourne's service to the college, state of Louisiana, and the profession of pharmacy in 2018 by establishing the Bill of Marcia Bourne Endowed Pharmacy Superior Graduate Scholarship. This scholarship is designed to facilitate the recruitment and retention of high-quality Doctor of Pharmacy students in the College of Pharmacy. On how his time at ULM impacted his life, Dr. Bourne says, "My entire career has been at ULM. I can't imagine a different or better way to have spent my working years than to have served the profession of pharmacy through my efforts at ULM. I have lived pharmacy for 47 years, and I have made many wonderful friends across the state through our involvement with ULM and the profession." On February 14, 2019, Dr. Bourne married Mary Hammock, or Sissy. This evening, we are honored to be joined by Dr. and Mrs. Bourne. Join me in welcoming Dean Emeritus, Dr. William Bourne.
Is it legal to take this off for speaking? Thank you. Thanks, Dean Anderson, for such a glowing introduction. I wish my mom had been here. She'd have believed it all. President Barry, Vice President Reese, Dean Anderson, faculty, staff, candidates, parents, spouses, and friends. It's an honor to be with you today to celebrate the completion of the first major part of these candidates' learning. Candidates, I emphasize this is the first major part, because despite your hard-earned degrees, you are now off and running on a career in which you will experience continuing change and constant learning. The knowledge you've assimilated and the thinking processes you have developed are only the beginning of your learning in the wonderful profession you're entering. Toxicology candidates, these remarks apply to your profession and future, as well as to the pharmacy graduates and their future. First, though, let me assure you that having participated in over 54 commencements, 3 per year, fall, spring, and summer, for 18 years, An observation I've made is that brevity in a commencement speaker is always truly appreciated and probably more effective. Thus, I hope to meet with this objective of brevity. However, there are 4 points I'd like to make. First, you'll see slow but enormous change in the profession and the responsibilities of pharmacists. Second, you will see enormous growth in the body of knowledge that you must have. Third, you must remain abreast of the knowledge through self-education. And fourth, you should support and participate in your respective professional organizations. These organizations, along with your input, will determine the directions of your profession. A few examples of change. When I entered the profession of pharmacy in the 60s, most questions a patient had about their medicine were to be answered with, and I quote what we used to say, "You should discuss that with your doctor." Although pharmacists did have knowledge of the use of medications, in instances where a drug might have multiple uses, it was thought that it might cause confusion for the patient or reflect badly on the doctor. Now, of course, regulations require that the pharmacist provides information. Also, the name of the drug was not to be included on the prescription label in those days unless the prescriber wrote label on the written prescription. Now, of course, it's required. In many hospitals, nurses or other personnel mix the IV infusions with no sterile environment and limited knowledge of calculations required to assure proper dosages. We simply sent the prescribed components to the patient's floor to be mixed there by non-pharmacist personnel. It was not until the early 70s that we began to have laminar flow hoods and pharmacists started mixing IVs under sterile conditions and sending the prepared product upward. To illustrate the significance of this, I recall a tragic incident in one of our sister hospitals in Tucson in which during the night shift, a medical intern noted that in order for potassium chloride had not been administered to a patient. Rather than giving it in the required manner, diluted in an IV infusion, since there were simply ampules of the concentrate at the nursing station, he simply pushed the concentrate using a large syringe into the IV port. Pharmacy students, what would that do? Lethal. The patient died in seconds. This would not have happened if the policies had been in place for pharmacists to do the mixing. There were no computers in those days. There were no records of prescriptions on computer. Records of prescriptions were maintained in loose leaf booklets of the written prescriptions numbered in sequence with records of refills simply written on the back. There were very few chain pharmacies. Hospital pharmacists were stuck in the basement of the hospital, simply filling orders to be sent to the various floors, with little or no accompanying input by the pharmacy. It's noteworthy that toxicology as a profession had not really been recognized until the past 20 or 30 years, when people began to recognize the impact even minuscule amounts of some substances were having harmful effects on people and the environment. Thus, I don't have much history illustrating the change in toxicology. I could go on. Suffice it to say that things are very different today. It's, of course, important to mention the crucial role of pharmacists across the country in administering the COVID vaccine. In earlier times, we would not have imagined giving injections. Second, the body of knowledge you need to possess has grown from a few hundred products on the market when I entered the profession to thousands today. New drugs, new routes of administration, new concepts of pharmacotherapy, and the presence of literally thousands of offending agents that are occurring in our environment at an amazing pace. You know a lot today, and information only you have continues to grow. Third, don't get behind in your knowledge. It's not easy to keep up in the midst of today's busy environment. C.S. Lewis, anyone heard of C.S. Lewis? Oh, I see a few nods. The noted British author was a professor of medieval literature in England during the Second World War. Bombs were falling daily in British cities. The long-range, although unguided, missiles were falling unexpected on their cities. The V-2 rockets that simply came out of the sky and exploded. Germany was intent on conquering England. Concern and fear and terror plagued Professor Lewis's students. In an address to students during those times, he wrote, and I quote, these are Dr. Lewis's words, "The first enemy of the student is excitement, the tendency to think and feel about the war when we had intended to think about our work. The best defense is a recognition that in this, as in everything else, the war has not raised up a new enemy, but only aggravated an old one. There are plenty of rivals to our work. We're always falling in love or quarreling, looking for jobs or fearing to lose them, getting ill and recovering, or following public affairs. If we let ourselves, we'll always be waiting for some distraction or other to end before we can really get down to our work." That was around 1940 when he wrote that. How applicable to today. Finally, I urge you, take charge of the changes that are happening and will continue to happen in your profession. Some will be good and some will be bad. Don't let others determine your future. The only way to do this is through participation in the various professional organizations. Belong and support them. Participate. There are others who wish to usurp your activities and your responsibilities and your livelihood. Don't let that happen. Incidentally, some of the fondest memories I have during a 50-plus year career in pharmacy as a practicing pharmacist, professor, and dean have involved interaction with colleagues through the numerous professional organizations. Think of professional joy with your colleagues. Finally, expect changes. Expect many new pharmaceuticals and toxicants. Keep up with the knowledge. Belong and participate in your professional organizations. In closing, congratulations. You're entering grand and wonderful professions. I wish you the very best, and God bless you and the professions of pharmacy and toxicology. Through you, I'm certain the professions and their future is being placed in good hands. Thank you.
Now for the time you've been waiting for, we're going to confer our degrees. Will the candidates for the bachelor's degree please stand? President Barry, on behalf of the faculty, it's my pleasure to present to you the successful candidates for the bachelor's degree.
This is by far the favorite part of my job. By the authority vested in me by the University of Louisiana System Board of Supervisors, it is my pleasure to confer upon you the bachelor's degree. Congratulations. You may be seated.
Will the candidates for the Doctor of Pharmacy degree please stand? President Barry, on behalf of the graduate faculty, it's my pleasure to present to you these successful candidates for the Doctor of Pharmacy degree.
By the authority vested in me by the University of Louisiana System Board of Supervisors, it is my pleasure to confer upon you the Doctor of Pharmacy degree. Congratulations. You may be seated.
Will the candidates for the master's degree please stand? President Barry, on behalf of the graduate faculty, it is my pleasure to present to you these successful candidates for the master's degree.
By the authority vested in me by the University of Louisiana System Board of Supervisors, it is my pleasure to confer upon you the master's degree. Congratulations. You may be seated.
Will the candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy degree please stand? President Barry, on behalf of the graduate faculty, it's my pleasure to present to you these successful candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy.
By the authority, yeah, please go ahead. By the authority vested in me by the University of Louisiana System Board of Supervisors, it is my pleasure to confer upon you the Doctor of Philosophy degree. Congratulations. You may be seated. In accordance with academic tradition, please move your tassels from the right to the left to indicate your new status as graduates. Graduates, please step forward to receive your degrees.
The highest academic honor that can be earned and awarded is the doctoral degree. Now is the time when those ULM students who have earned this most respected academic degree are recognized. This mark of achievement reaches its apex during the hooding ceremony, which represents the passing of the mantle of knowledge, marking the transition from student to colleague. This pinnacle in an academic career could not occur without the guidance of a mentor, specifically a major advisor who guides the student in the quest for learning and enlightenment. Therefore, it is appropriate that the doctoral graduate be joined by the major professor. I ask that the doctoral graduate and major professor please step forward as I call the graduate's name. Receiving the Doctor of Philosophy, Hassan Mahmoud. Mohammed Main Uden. Receiving the bachelor degree, Tyler Nutt. Lainey Rogers. Taylor Hurst. Madison Lee Everett. Ashley Haynes. Charmaine Rapasura. Tyrese Adams. Jacoby Boston. Correll Chisley. Destiny Woods. Meonte Lafayette. Kira Dixon. The Doctor of Pharmacy is the highest academic honor that can be earned and awarded in the profession of pharmacy. Now is the time when those ULM students who have earned this most respected academic degree are recognized. This mark of achievement reaches its apex during the hooding ceremony, which represents the passing of the mantle of knowledge, marking the transition from student to colleague. Receiving the Doctor of Pharmacy, Allison Edney Hall. Jacqueline Boone. Sean Walker. Kalia Sherrod. Maya Hardman. April Stelly. Chelsea Lemaire Bonet. Brandon Edelman. Jacqueline Green. Caroline Smith. Bobby Joe Stevens. Agape Skinner. Tori Spindler Griggs. Heather Ortego. Kayla Trahan. Chloe Seeley. Rachel Pecora. Bryce Parker. Harrison Park. Alyssa Anderson. Julie Wynn. Caitlin Araby. Nikki Shelton. Han Wong. Ricardo Garcia. Dylan Guillaume. Alexandra Hatcher. Danielle Dagenod. Teresa Bridges. Ivory Breland. Bria McQuarn. Courtney Smart. LaKaren McGee. Stephen Snelling. Emily Saunier. Ahmad Abdel Salam. Nathaniel Schultz. Megan Elliott. Madeline Fraser Kelly. Anna Solari.
Mary Margaret Frazier. Carly Como. Caitlin Tyler. Skylar Grass. Emily Cormier. Kristen Reagan. Mary Klump. Allison Bartek. Amber Johnson. Sarah Andrus. Maletta Kokoricha. Luke Reed. Brett Richard. Jonathan Gordon. Rodney Berry. Madeline Dorsey. Yesera Sheikh. Elizabeth Riley. Haley Dawkins. Carolyn Tran. Ying Zhao. Quentin Good. Braxton Crawford. Charles Dronay. Cullen Prejean. Caleb Jackson. Brian Garrity. Abby Schutz. Samantha Sutton. Catherine Wright. Ashlyn Gustafson. Clayton Williams. Receiving the Doctor of Pharmacy and Master of Business Administration degree, Logan Roberts. Beck Hogwood. Thomas Michael Miner. Casey McDonald. Raven Alexander. Emma Gautreaux. James Barker. Bhavesh Patel. The College of Pharmacy's 2021 spring commencement exercises are now concluded.